from. Now,
Beat up, bullied, and dunked on. Beat up, bullied, and dunked on. Bullied and dunked on. Let's get it. We only rock with Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the canvas. Lest you get beat up, bullied, and dunked on. We gon' leave you beat up, bullied, and dunked on. We said we only rock with Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the canvas. Lest you get beat up, bullied, and dunked on. We gon' leave you beat up, bullied, and dunked on. Excellently, it was pressing to me. Descended from the parents, I inherited 3 passports. I can flex a triple residency. Probably why I'm passing boundaries so effortlessly. If a rapper wanna step, they step with hesitancy. Cause I'm wrecking with ease. Flow epidemic on these beats that I finessed in the beam. And got a reservoir of seconds I can spend on you dweebs. Think I got a ton of patience, homie, tested to see. I undertook a mission with impossible odds. I can't cruise with no time, uncles. I'm obviously not easily bought. That's why they be asking what do I rock. It's Tino Ranga, Tira Tonga, and abolish the cops. Oh yeah, unapologetic with my fanatic, don't fear. Never left the team, they're in the pedestal here. It's real, we don't do it for the aesthetic, not here. But we nice right here, cause we only rock with Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the canvas. Lest you get beat up, bullied, and dunked on. We gon' leave you beat up, bullied, and dunked on. We said we only rock with Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the canvas. Lest you get beat up, bullied, and dunked on. We gon' leave you beat up, bullied, and dunked on.
Word to the daughters who robbing me on my flowers. I'm working too many hours, check the time sheet. Cut the sugar out my life, but she's still telling me that I'm sweet. I'll sleep when the job was done. So never too clever, who's your favorite? I'm better. Flow wetter, froze ready like Eddie from Motec, and insecure in your position, so you checking up. Take the front without the rear, out of love or out of fear. I ain't got no competition, listen, I'm looking in the mirror, oh yeah. Saying that you love me just so you can be my peer.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the 3&D podcast, the home of Australia's favourite basketball podcast. I'm Nabs. I'm joined by Yoz. How you going, Yoz? What is going on? Let me just make sure your mic's working. Yep. Check. We're good?
Check. Yo.
How we doing?
They're good, bro. Alhamdulillah. All good.
So we started season 2 together. Now we're continuing with the 3rd episode. And today we are talking about a number of topics. We're going to kick things off. Now, I did have a plan to talk about a few things today, but I'm going to put some of the topics aside because a massive story just popped up over the past, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 hours. So Jaylen Brown, Stephen A. Smith potentially interview of the year, in my opinion. It was absolutely epic. It's just released, so I don't imagine everyone's seen it. But if you have, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There was a lot of topics that were discussed. Jaylen Brown addressed the issue the beef between him and Stephen A. with regards to saying that he was not marketable and not stating his source, and causing a bit of disruption with Jaylen Brown's bottom dollar, really. They hashed it out. They discussed it. It was really good. Did have a couple of points that I did want to say. Jaylen Brown, you're my brother and everything, but Stephen A., I mean, he kind of took care of you in the interview. He tried to help you, but there were points where you came across probably a little bit immature. I know you're 28, still a young spring chicken, but you made it out like the issue with regards to the marketing or not being marketable was a problem for Stephen A. releasing the information or the information itself being out there, but then you backed that up by saying that you expect people to treat you differently when you walk in the room, and you want them to be intimidated, etc. So it's very weird the way that you approach that, because that was like one of your main points that you wanted to get off your chest and you wanted to air out, and you kind of proved exactly what was being said was, somewhat true. Not in a bad way. You shouldn't have to be apologetic for, yourself, my brother. I mean, it's all good, but the way you approached it was a little bit odd. The rest of the interview was pretty cool. There was insights into Boston Celtics, but I don't know what it is, man. Yoz, there's something in the water in Boston because everyone seems to have beef. Jason Tatum was having beef over the off-season with the Euro players. Mazzulla wanting all the smoke in any opportunity with interviews. I mean, and now Jaylen Brown. I don't know what's going on, bro. Any thoughts on the Celtics?
Brother, it's what I said when they came out saying he's not a marketable player, or the allegations of some NBA exec said, the rumor is, Jaylen Brown's not easily marketable. I agreed. If you remember, if you go back to that take, I said right away, I understand exactly where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Because it was that holier than thou type of attitude. I mean, yeah, he's our brother in Islam, alhamdulillah, we love you, akhi, but I mean, we said it from there and then. He's got that I'm smarter than everybody, I'm better than everybody type of mentality. It's hard to market that.
So
he jumped on me at that point too, but I mean, like I said, at the same time, like we compared it with Kawhi when he was at the Spurs. He wasn't marketable until he did something. And the same thing with Jaylen Brown. Like, of course, now he's a Finals MVP, he's a champion, he's making it known, like he's appearing everywhere. He goes to Abu Dhabi and speaks Arabic. He tries to put his influence on the international scene as well. I mean, which is good.
Yeah.
Like he's beginning to put the things in place to be marketed, obviously. But before that, he wasn't a marketable player.
Agree.
Like,
Agreed.
yeah, you agree. That's
to
beautiful.
some degree, I do agree. But it had a lot to do with the powers that be. You mentioned that, and I think at the time we were discussing: is he marketable? Is he not marketable because of external influences, or is he not marketable because of himself? And I still maintain that it's external influences. He does hold positions that are not conducive to being marketable. So, for example, he mentioned his relationship with Nike in the pod. Well, let's call it what it is, a podcast. It was a good interview. It was on Stephen A's podcast, the Stephen A. Smith Show. Shout out to Stephen A. Actually, I wanted to mention something about Stephen A., but I'll come back to that. But Jaylen Brown did address his relationship with Nike, or lack thereof, with Nike. And one thing he did say, and I think this was, he purposely wanted to address this. He purposely wanted to get this message out there. But he said in 2028, if I want to word it correctly, basically he was saying the next Olympics, if he has to make a deal with Nike to be there, he won't be playing in the Olympics. And he mentioned it a few times throughout the interview. So it was kind of drawing a line with Nike. It was very unusual. Even what's really weird is for a period of time between his contract expiring or finishing with Adidas to being a free agent, a sneaker free agent, he was wearing Kobe's, or he was wearing the GT cuts, and he had them custom done. But when he was asked if he was with Nike, it was like an emphatic no to Stephen A. But clearly you favored Nike shoes, like whether you were with them or not. The way that he approached that was a bit odd. He might have information that we don't, obviously, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he made a very strong statement against Nike and against the Olympic Committee, and they did discuss that. If you haven't watched it, it's a very long podcast. Maybe we'll do a reaction or breakdown later once everyone's watched it. But what do you think about just what I've mentioned, those statements and stances that he's taken?
I think he's jumping the gun a bit, yeah. I mean, think about it. If He had a Finals MVP season. Well, Finals MVP run. I wouldn't say season, right? Given that, he's playing with some of the top players in the NBA on his team. It's not like he's playing with scrubs and he's a final MVP on that team.
Yeah.
If you're playing at a certain level, they can't exclude you no matter what from that team. Like Anthony Edwards, he's an Adidas athlete. Like he balled the hell out. There was no way they could have kept Anthony Edwards off that US team. If you're playing like that,
It was one in the ocean of Nike athletes, though, in
course,
fairness.
but Nike, in fairness, get a bulk of the best athletes in the NBA. I mean, Nike have always had the best athletes in the NBA.
But if you remember, the argument was that Nike had say as to who was on that squad.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently.
I think
But you're
that's
going to say you're going to
had.
jump the gun now 4 years in advance and say, oh, in another 4 years it's going to be the same thing. Get out of here, bro. Like, I think you've been a bit premature and trying to paint a narrative before it's even in the thought stage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's how I look at it. Like, just play the game, and if you want to be on Team USA, play at a level that there's no possibility to be kept off because everybody's grinding. Everybody's going to try for that spot. Like, why the hell should you just be given a spot? Man, you might be injured in a year. I mean, how many performances like this have you had, really, to put you at that upper echelon of players? Yeah, I still don't put him at the upper echelon of players in the league.
I'd argue he's been one of the most consistent superstars.
Do you think he's a top 10 player in the league?
I'd have to think about it. He's up there. He's up there.
No chance. Top 10. No chance.
He's up there. I rate his
Where
game.
Where was he?
Seeing him lock down defender after defender, superstar after superstar in the playoffs and in the finals, and keeping his offense going when Jason Tatum was struggling and others were struggling. He was a rock. He was a rock. And there was an argument that he was the number one, and I agree with that. It
doesn't matter. That's a luxury you have being on that team. What, someone's not performing? It's not just him and Jason Tatum. That's a good team. It's a well-built team, bro. Like,
he carried them for a few of few stretches, a few games.
If you're a top 10 player, you're carrying your team for the season. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You're not an MVP. You're not a regular season MVP. Well, you showed up when they needed you, yeah, but you're not a top 10 player. Well, just because you got that reward.
But I'd make the argument that I don't think anybody from the Celtics can qualify to be an MVP with the way that the MVP award is given.
It could, if Jason Tatum dominated.
Yeah, but there's such a fine-tuned machine, the Boston Celtics, that I don't think anyone can stand out consistently throughout the season.
Because there's so many good players on the team, correct?
Yeah, and because they all have, it's almost like a throwback to the old era where role players were role players, and everyone knows what they bring, and everyone knows what where they need to be at the right time. It reminds me a lot. This is a very obscure comparison, but it reminds me a lot of the Melbourne Storm during their solid years, back to back to back. Like, it reminds me of. Doesn't it give you those vibes? You know, where Mike or Matt Bellamy and Kronk and all those guys, how solid that team was. It never looked like they were losing.
You're talking about NRL, yeah?
Yeah, I'm comparing the unit, how well they played together as a team, as a one entity. I'm comparing that to the Boston Celtics currently.
Look, I'm going to give you a quick rapid fire. Is Jaylen Brown better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? I don't even need to think about that one, bro. Is he a better all-round player than Shai?
It's hard to say because they're in different environments.
Let me do this thing.
They're in different environments. Like let's.
Better than Curry?
Do you know why? Hang on. Do you know why I hesitate? I'll explain. The reason I hesitate is because Shai has to be the number one on OKC.
He doesn't, bro. That team, again, is very similar. Very well built. A lot of top players on that team.
No one's carrying that team if Shai doesn't.
Hey, we don't know that yet. But
no, I don't see that.
I'm going to back up.
And then you look at the body of work. Canada. You know, he didn't carry Canada when they needed him most. So I can't make that argument.
I'm talking about NBA. Like,
yeah, I get that. But I'm saying, like, from a... I get that it's different. I'm just saying, like, if he can't carry those teams, I can't say definitively that he's better than Jaylen Brown.
All right, take Tatum away. Jaylen Brown can't carry that team, even how it's constructed. Take Tatum out of it completely. There's no way. Forget Shai. Is he better than Curry?
Different, man. How do you
better
compare?
than LeBron? Better than LeBron? Better than Luka?
When LeBron wants to be? No way he's better.
Is he better than Luka?
On both ends, yeah, he is.
No. Overall, is he better than Luka?
It's hard to say because Luka's offensive output is just next level. No one's going to compare to that.
So, yeah, no. Is he better than...
From an offensive perspective, no. He's nowhere near as good as Luka.
Is he better than Durant?
No.
Is he better than Kyrie?
Yeah, I think he can be.
What?
I think he can be.
Is he a better basketball player than Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, I think he is.
Not can he be on a day?
I think he is. Okay. We saw Kyrie in the finals, man, in the playoffs and the finals. He was nowhere to be seen. He struggled. Now he's better than Kyrie.
Nah.
In his prime, I don't know. Probably not. Kyrie was a gun.
He's not better than Kyrie. Oh my god. All right. I'm not going to keep naming names because you've already gone. I said 5 and you already said 1 that it blows my.
Yeah, I didn't say. Look, I haven't committed to. I haven't committed to if he's top 10 or not. I'm just saying, like, he's up there, man.
Look, if anyone can jot down in the comment section what this guy thinks Jaylen Brown is better than Kyrie Irving, hit us up. Let us know who's wrong because I think he must be on crack or something.
Chat. Kyrie greater than Jaylen? Yes or no?
Tell us, chat. What's up?
Cool. So that was Jaylen Brown. Kind of derailed the whole podcast because...
Sorry.
No, we had to talk about it. I mean, it was an amazing event. But one thing that pisses me off, Jaylen and Stephen A. Actually, I wanted to say something about Stephen A. Stephen A., your mentoring and your maturity and care for black athletes really showed... And I don't want to single black athletes, but I'm talking about Jaylen Brown's interview particularly. It really showed in that interview. Jaylen Brown put himself into holes left, right, and center. There was a lot of gotcha moments that Stephen A. could have jumped on, but he kind of corralled him in the right direction. So that's got to be said. That gave me a newfound respect for, not that I didn't have respect for Stephen A., but that was pretty good, pretty cool of him. Now, we need to address the WNBA, the champs, New York. They brought the title to New York after 28 years. The New York Liberty are the WNBA champions. They defeated is it Minnesota Lynx?
Yeah, Lynx, yeah.
I know it's the Lynx. I don't know if it's Minnesota. They confuse me.
Lynx.
And I'll be honest, it wasn't the best game. I'm trying to be nice. It wasn't the best game. The score was 62-67. Went to overtime. It was very engaging. The crowd was really into it. But... shooting was trash. I think I saw Sabrina.
5 points.
She went 1 from 19 at one stage.
She had 5 points for the whole game.
It was painful. It was painful.
8 assists. So 1 of 19 for the whole night, bro.
Yeah, it was. Look, it wasn't the best product that they put forward, but the WNBA this season has produced a lot of interest, a lot of highlights. It's raised its profile. But, for some reason, they are still losing a ton of money. And I have a couple of theories. One, you just got into the mainstream media, the people are watching you, all eyes are on you, and you've gone and you're getting money in and you've gone, oh, let's go get another team, let's go get another team, let's go. You've just gone expanded like 2 or 3 teams as soon as you saw a bit of money. Like, you're trying to go broke straight away. Like, put some savings aside, you know, what's going on? It's very unusual. And before I get into the full details and dive into this particular issue, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Do you have any thoughts about the champs before we go all negative?
Not really, because it's all playing with a size 6. But anyway, what you were saying about the expansion, I think that's a major thing, bro. Like, investing in the growth of the league, because it includes increasing salaries, player conditions, like the Jets and everything. Adding new teams will also like bring a lot more financial strain to the league. So what are they doing? Like, why are they?
I didn't understand it. Yeah,
this additional funding that they're getting now. Now they're traveling first class. Now they're doing this, that. Like, it's a bit ridiculous, bro. Like, one Caitlin Clark comes into the league, and it's like, oh my god. Only one team's getting all these views. Only one team's selling all this merch, pretty much, other than a little bit of Angel Reese. But you need every team to have a player like this until you start seeing a viable, product.
So that's one of the issues.
One player for a whole league.
That's one of the issues. But speaking of New York, guess who? So, from my understanding, the structure of the WNBA, it's still the little sister of the NBA. The NBA are funding it. They are managed by the owners, the board of owners. And one owner who's leading the charge with his absolute disgust and disappointment and frustration is Doyle, the owner of the New York Knicks. So it's very unusual that New York Liberty wins it and the other New York brother team is the one that's actually the most frustrated with the WNBA and their spending or losing. So just a couple of comments from him.
I would call it little brother. Like, NBA is more like its baby daddy. These are like its side piece, like, because the amount of money that they spend on these bloody women is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but meanwhile, NBA owners are demanding answers. New York Knicks owner James Dolan is reportedly pressing Commissioner Adam Silver on how the league plans to recoup their investment. There's a bunch of owners this is a statement by another NBA executive, it's unnamed. There's a bunch of owners who see Dolan as their hero for pressing Silver on these questions, but Silver isn't giving answers. So, according to this, they've lost tens of millions again this season. And it's very weird. Look, we mentioned earlier on that the WNBA has an image problem and nothing's really changed. They get Caitlin Clark and they put all their eggs into Caitlin Clark. And they've got a couple more up and comers coming along, but I don't see it getting any better, especially with decisions like this expansion. You expand when you have money, from my understanding. You don't expand when you don't have money. So that's very unusual to me. But
it's like getting a brand new job on like $200K a year, going out and buying a $100,000 Mercedes right away.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cheap.
It's kind of like how some of the younger NBA players go broke. So
I can't believe that issue is still happening in the NBA in itself. Like,
yeah, so
he's played-
Jaylen Brown, because he sits on the PA, the NBA PA, he actually mentioned a few things in that podcast regarding that. So that was one of his missions, is to make sure that NBA players don't go broke after they leave the league and so on. But just to wrap on the WNBA, so I thought I'd just share this. So the two competitors, or the two rivals, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa looked good in that. She was the only player that I thought was actual standout in that game.
It's only Brianna Stewart, man. She had like 19 rebounds. I think she had 19 points and like 15 rebounds or something.
Yeah, she got fouled out towards the end. She was an absolute gun. I got to hand it to her. Hats off to
13 points
Nafisa.
and 15 boards. Yeah.
She's got an awesome name too.
Brianna Stewart.
Nafisa.
Oh, Nafisa. I wasn't talking about her, bro.
Well, Brianna was trash, man. She got away with a lot of stuff. There was a lot of controversy around.
She was leading scorer on championship. Like, she had 13 points.
She struggled, man. Look at her stats. She struggled. Her percentages were horrible.
Not as bad as Sabrina, bro. I think she grabbed all her boards.
At the beginning, she was. At the beginning of the game. But yeah, they ended up winning, so won't take that away from them. But what I did want to mention is that the two rivals, they're actually starting a separate tournament, a 3-on-3 tournament. It's called Unrivaled, and they've just signed a multi-year media rights deal with TNT. And check out their structure.
That'll be better than WNBA. It'll be more profitable too.
Yeah, so check this structure out. So they've signed up a bunch of, these are the people that they've signed up so far. So you've got all the top players. You can see Caitlin Clark's missing from from that list.
You should torch them all. I mean, it'd be worthless.
But check out the way that it's structured. So it's a 3-on-3 women's basketball league. Compressed full court. I don't know what the hell that means.
It means, like, remember when we used to play at Bankstown and they had that full court that's like 3/4 court or whatever?
Why would you do 3-on-3 for that? Well, that's silly.
Because women need spacing. They can't drive.
That's not true. That's not true. The Olympic 3-on-3 produced some amazing highlights, man. The women's one.
But they're not WNBA players, are they?
These are supposed to be the elite, right? They won the gold and everything. So the other interesting thing, so talking about money, all of the first 30 players actually get equity ownership. That's a really good structure in the league.
It's pretty cool.
That's very cool. So I thought I'd share that. That's it on the WNBA until next season.
Can we just like,
I'm glad Moz wasn't here.
put on a break for 3 more years or something?
I'm glad Moz wasn't here.
But when they go bankrupt, we'll put it in the media again.
Moz would have lost his mind. Oh, actually, sorry. One thing I forgot to mention is they also just announced that they're going from 5 games to 7 games. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I mean, obviously it's about revenue because they're able to pack stadiums again, but why? I mean, the competition is like they can't go that long. They're struggling. We saw that in the last game. It had taken everything out of them. That's probably why it only went to 60 points. I think this is a bad move. I think they should have just left it as 5. All the other major leagues have 5 around the world.
They should just do it like March Madness type of structure.
Knockout.
Yeah, bro, get the hell out of here.
That'd be good. That'd be good. So yeah, that's it. Sorry, I forgot to mention that before. Any comments on that?
No. Okay. Move it on.
So before we get to the main topic that we wanted to discuss, which is the season starts tomorrow or in a few hours. Yes. Bro, kicking off.
Only 2 games.
Preseason was a massive tease. So I can't wait for the real thing. looking forward to a lot of things. But before we get into that, I just wanted to mention just another league with a rule change that I thought might have some consequences, I think, all round, to be honest. I don't know if you saw this, Yoz. So the G League, they've just introduced a rule where the heaves beyond half court are not counted to the player's stats.
That's bullshit. Because you know what, right? I always wondered, like, why are people so concerned about shoot? Like, they wait till after the buzzer to shoot that shot. Who cares if it's going to add to your one miss of a game? Like, this drives me nuts, bro.
So it has obviously financial ramifications. Yeah. With the way that they structure some of the contracts, it has to do with performance. So this can hurt players that don't get a lot of game time, obviously.
I understand G League for the fact of, when people are looking at their sheets to have them on a roster, if they're always doing heaves and it's looking like they're missing more on their percentage of shooting, I understand that because they're trying to get to the league.
Yeah.
Once you're in the league, man, like, come on.
Yeah, but this is only for the G League. So
yeah.
What I did want to say on this is the examples around the world. So the world game, I know this is an NBA podcast, but the world game doesn't have this issue. You never see the NBL players, EuroLeague players, even PBA, China. They never hesitate to take that buzzer beater, regardless. First quarter, second quarter, up 10, down 15, whatever. They're taking that shot. They're not hesitating. They're not caring about this. And it makes for an exciting game. These are the highest performing players, the most skilled players in the world, in all these leagues. They make these shots in practice. Like, if you gave them 10 shots from deep, they're likely to make a few of them.
We should. If I can, you can, Moz can. Come on.
So, yeah, it takes away that excitement of the game, especially in recent years. It's been horrible. You see them holding
like with the Cavs. You saw when the Cavs, was it Struess? Not Struess. Was it Struess? When he jacked it up from like 3/4 court and won the game?
Yes.
That was crazy.
So why rob us of that? I mean, you especially with games that are rubbish, that are going to crap, you give the crowd what they want to see, Get that Harlem Globetrotter moment. So that's interesting. And do you see this popping up in the NBA, this rule?
No, I don't think so.
So this ties in with a suggestion that I made regarding the 4-point line. And I said the only way that I think the NBA should adopt a 4-point line is if it's something like this. So only in this situation. That's where it would count. So anything beyond, 36 feet, within the last, I don't know, put a timer that makes more sense with advanced stats and whatever, in the last part of the game. Anything beyond that is a 4-pointer. I think that'll make for an interesting game. Imagine, Steph Curry, the OKC one, the double bang.
It would also avoid a lot more OTs,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of 3-point leads that aren't safe at all. Because usually when you're jacking it up from deep in that last few seconds or last minute or whatnot, it's only going to tie the game and go back into OT.
Could, yeah. So that was an interesting addition that I thought I'd mention. Now, let's talk about the season opener. Tomorrow being the start of the season. So these are the games. Drum roll.
Was it LA? Oh yeah, I want to say.
So it opens tomorrow, or again in a few hours here.
Yep.
New York versus Boston, and Minnesota versus the Lakers. That's a cracker of a day.
Yeah, let's see if Bron plays, man.
Bron or Bronny?
Man, no one gives a shit about Bronny. Let's see if Bron plays. Bro.
This will be awesome to see Boston and New York. going at it when they're healthy, because we saw the Knicks were very battered and bruised towards the postseason, or the postseason last season. So these will be awesome to see. Who have you got out of these matchups?
Boston and Celtic. Boston and Knicks. I reckon Knicks.
Yeah, I think Knicks had a better preseason. Yeah, I've got the Knicks and Timberwolves.
You see, I don't give a shit about preseason. Like, preseason does nothing for me. It's just getting, like, no one cares about winning, really.
Yeah, for me, it was just interesting to see how the players
Connect.
Yeah, especially with the new players and some of the players that have been MIA for so long. It was really good to see them out on the court. And then we've got on, what's it for us? That's Thursday, so not Wednesday.
No, we got the Lakers game tomorrow too.
Yeah, I said I've got Timberwolves.
Okay, I got Lakers, only because I see Bron trying to get a win. Like, I don't see Bronny James playing for very long in the NBA. I think they're going to play a couple games, get LeBron to give him an alley-oop, or him throw Bron an alley-oop, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, it'll be a whole story for a week or 2 weeks, and then he'll be in G League. So I think that Bron's going to go out hard in this one and try to get maybe 20 points in the first half easy.
I think it's the right move to put him in the G League, to be honest. He needs some professional development.
Like, bro, he should have been there. Like, he shouldn't be playing this. Like,
he did have. Look, he closed out the preseason good, even though they
lost.
Bro,
come on. He had one game. Look, they didn't start anybody. Nobody started. Nobody was playing.
Yeah, it's
like,
it's not a good measure. I agree. I agree.
There's not enough attention on Mr. Connect 4, who actually, the game before, balled the hell out and got them the win.
Yeah, Connect was good.
Bro, in the last quarter, he had like 15 or 20 points in the last quarter, bro. That game was hectic.
Yeah.
That game, bro. Give him the attention.
You know who else is good? That Smiley guy. What's his name? He just had a 2-way converted to a contract. I'm going to stuff up his name. Alvina or Alvirina or something.
Oh, is it the guy that loves Curry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little... Man, come on. You don't cry and shit after a game like that because you met Stephen Curry. You're LA Laker. What type of shit is that? Like, I'm crying at my...
So I saw him on It Is What It Is, talking to that female host, Stat. And he... talked up LeBron, I think, to even it out.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like, you're in the league. Now you're in the league.
But he was being mentored by him, so Steph was took him aside and had a heart-to-heart with him.
Yeah,
that's
bro,
pretty cool.
You don't cry at a press conference when you're in the league about another player on another team.
Dude, he wasn't going to make it in the league. That's why he was emotional.
Who gives a shit, bro? You don't do it in front of the camera.
Dude balled out.
Cry in the locker room.
Dude balled out, man.
LeBron.
Dude balled out. I'm riding with this bloke, man.
He balled out. He balled his eyes out, bro, at the press conference. Literally. What the fuck? Come on, man.
Leave the kid alone, bro.
Ah, man. You're in the NBA. Man up. 90s basketball. Would you ever catch a rookie or any of them
We're
crying?
Done with the 90s.
Get out of here.
No way. They wouldn't be talking about each other. So we'll move on to Thursday. Bucks versus... Sorry?
Games galore, bro. That's the day.
Again, there's only 2, right?
No.
Full
day game, bro.
What have I got? Is this just ESPN? No, this
is always a full day of games. So it's Wednesday for them.
Hang on. Let me bring it up on the app, because
You got Golden State and Portland. You got Pacers and Pistons, Cavs and Raptors, Bucks and Sixers, Magic and Heat.
I've got to say this. NBA, if you're listening, what are you guys doing? Every year you kick me out of the NBA app when I'm trying to log in at the most important times. Stop it. I literally used it the other day.
Even LeBron James ain't using the app, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Come on, man.
Oh, man, you're right. Holy crap.
Day 2 is always full up, bro. It's one of the best days.
Okay,
But there's
so,
a lot of mismatches on that day, bro.
so some of the highlights, obviously they're showing the top games. So Bucks versus 76ers and Phoenix versus the Clippers.
Yeah, but are they top games?
Yeah, well,
is Giannis playing? Is Giannis going to be
well, Warriors are playing Portland, Pacers are playing Detroit, Cavaliers are playing Raptors.
Come on. Well, these are.
I mean, Heat and Magic, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how is this not a marquee matchup? Bulls versus Pelicans.
Why it's not a marquee matchup is because Bulls are trash. Forget the preseason and what you see.
I don't know, man.
That is the dumbest constructed roster.
I'm excited to see them. I'd watch that game. That's probably a game I'd watch.
I saw your last podcast. I saw the shit you were saying about Chicago. Bro, I'm a Chicago fan. But something's in your soup because this is a very bad team. What the hell?
Yeah, look, what did I say? I said I
don't know, man. I think they're going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I think they will be. If the preseason was anything to go by, that one game, it was exciting to watch. Now, I did say also, call me, hypocrite, whatever you want. I did also say I don't understand the lineup. I don't understand a guard-heavy rotation that they have. I don't know why they're stockpiling the same players. So I don't get it. But at the same time, preseason was pretty good. That one game was pretty cool. It was really good to see.
Not just one game. We had a few games. A few very good games.
No, with Lonzo.
We had a couple good games with Lonzo.
He only played once.
It's funny because I watched that episode.
He only played once.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
I watched that last
once.
episode. No, he didn't. I watched that last episode. No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
He played one game, bro.
No, he didn't.
He said he was going to play 3, and he only ended up playing 1.
Can I ask you something? You know the day the pod came out, he played a game after that pod, like on that day that you did the pod, and he did a catch alley-oop dunk, like he played another game. He got the lob, he got this two-hand dunk.
Hang on.
So when Moz said, I saw him want one, but he didn't get it, I was thinking today he actually got it.
You're right, actually. Yeah,
I'm
no,
a Bulls
you're right.
fan, bro. Don't fuck with me, man. I know when the Bulls are playing, bro. I watch every game.
My bad. I didn't realize that there were more games after that one.
Bro, I sit there praying every Bulls game, and then I switch it off.
I stand corrected.
But look at the score. 139 or something.
Yeah, it went to overtime as well.
130 something.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
Yeah. So again, it's preseason.
So Lonzo had a similar stat line, no? I think it was 11, 3 and something.
And Giddey didn't play.
Yeah.
Giddey didn't play.
I'm excited. Yeah, 139 to 137.
Sumo had a good game that game, I think.
To Sumo.
Was that the game he had a good game?
19, 3 and 3, yeah. Not bad.
Yeah. Right,
he played the full game, though. That's not very high.
No, but he's not the main option.
Not the full game, but 28 minutes is a lot for the preseason.
Well, not an OC game.
Yeah, for the preseason, though. Okay, so the rest of the lineup. So I'm going to have to read it off my phone because this has just given us the highlighted games, which is not what we're after. So Brooklyn versus Atlanta, Hornets versus the Rockets. That'll be an interesting one. Two young up-and-coming teams. Grizzlies versus Hornets and Atlanta. Hornets and Rockets.
Oh, Hornets got that game. Brooklyn and Atlanta, yeah? Brooklyn got that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're a mess. They're a hot mess. Although they did re-sign, or they gave the rookie extension to that kid, Johnson. Grizzlies versus Jazz. That'll be a good test for Ja. He bounced back. He bounced back from that ankle injury, so that's good. And as we mentioned up there, Phoenix versus the Clippers. So that's Thursday. Friday. So what have they got?
Bro, what about Golden State and Portland? And what about
Yeah, it's trash. It's a trash game.
Okay, I thought you just highlighted them, yeah?
Yeah, listen, although I'm a Warriors fan, I'm not going to call out what it ain't, It's still a trash game. I still 100%. Want them to win. I'll watch it, don't get me wrong, but It's a rubbish game. Okay, so Friday for us. Friday we've got Celtics and Wizards. Trash game. Spurs and Mavericks. This will be an interesting one, and this is a marquee one. And OKC and Nuggets. That'll be a good one. Nuggets are slipping, man. I'm worried about the Nuggets this season.
Yep. Well, let's see what they're like with Russ and McCall.
And this one should have been highlighted. Timberwolves and Kings. I don't know why that's not up there. That's an interesting matchup. I'm looking forward to that one. And then on Saturday, Warriors versus Jazz, 76ers versus Raptors, Brooklyn versus Magic, Pacers versus Knicks, the remix. Detroit versus Cleveland, crosstown rivalry. We've got Hornets versus Hawks, Bulls versus Bucks, that'll be their first test. Grizzlies versus the Rockets, Pelicans versus the Trailblazers, and Suns versus the Lakers. Potentially top two going at it. And then wrapping it up, I'll stop at Sunday. Clippers versus Nuggets, Cavs versus Wizards, Boston versus Detroit, Heat versus the Hornets, that'll be a good one. Raptors versus Timberwolves, Magic versus Grizzlies, Thunder versus Bulls. That's a good one.
Stop saying the Bulls ones is a good one. What is with you, bro?
What do you mean? Giddy playing against his former team. That'll be interesting, man. And Rockets versus the Spurs. Another crosstown rivalry. And
nothing he does is interesting.
Mavericks versus the Suns. And DeMar DeRozan takes on LeBron James. So that's a look ahead.
I said DeMar, Fox, and Sabonis, bro. And who else they got now? Like they just got who else they just acquired?
I think they ran it back. I don't think they added too many pieces.
They just picked someone up. Who did Kings just pick up?
I can't remember, man. But the start of the season, there's a couple of milestones just before the start of the season. So the rookie extensions that closed this morning, actually. So the the deadline for the rookie extensions was earlier today, and a lot of teams extended their rookie contracts. One interesting one that didn't get extended was the Warriors. Kuminga didn't get a rookie extension, and they've left it in limbo. So I don't know what that's going to mean for the locker room. I'm hoping that it adds more fuel to the fire under Kuminga to develop and hopefully propel the Warriors in a positive way, but it's a bit concerning.
The Kuminga.
Hey, Zara.
They come back.
So
it's interesting they didn't keep him, re-sign him. He was an instrumental part to last season.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I did want to mention, we'll wrap on this. So the two things, sorry, just to finish off what I was saying, the starting lineups were put in, so they're all locked in for the season, or for the start of the season. That was earlier today. And also the deadline for the rookie extensions for the 2021 rookies was earlier today as well. And just to wrap, so sorry, one sec.
So who locked it? You're saying the starting 5-4?
The starting rosters had to be put in earlier today. So they're the two milestones just before the lead up to the season. And with that, so they're the milestones for the NBA, but the media tend to have a frenzy during this time with their predictions and their hot takes. So some of them I'm just going to quickly mention. I did want to give our predictions and hot takes, but we'll probably leave that till the Friday. Yeah, so we can have all the predictions together, because last season was a shocker for some of us. Boston.
I still say they're a mentally weak team. They hadn't come up to any hard.
You know, I was going to pull up the clip.
Nothing.
I was going to pull up the clip and
I'm sorry.
rub it in your face, but I won't do that.
Think about it. Not one person disagreed. Like, at that time, not one thought Boston.
I did.
Mate, get out of here, bro.
Actually, I thought Mavericks, but I did have
Yeah.
Boston going to the
You
finals.
did. Yeah, but no one thought they're going to win the finals.
Yeah, proved us
And
wrong.
if it wasn't for Jaylen Brown showing up, they wouldn't have won the finals.
JB. So these are some of the predictions that have been put in by, I think it was Bleacher Report.
That looks good. I think Shai's going to be MVP this season, bro.
So
I said it last season, and yeah, I think this season's his season, bro.
let's leave it to the predictions. Don't jump the gun, because you might want to change your mind. What if
No,
he
no,
has
no.
a season-ending injury tomorrow?
Mr. Shai Alexander, bro. Unless he's injured, yeah. I have backups. Don't worry, bro.
So 60, they're predicting that they'll be the number one seed, 60 wins. Also the number one seed in the East, Boston. Number 2,
I think they're going to
York
have
Knicks.
issues. Oh, actually, I can't make predictions yet, can I?
No, we'll talk about this, but we won't lock it in. So basically, do you have any issues so far with any of these? Do you think that's a fair?
I think Cat's not going to be able to handle how OP Brunson is with the ball. I
Okay.
don't think he'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, I think
Like, Cat's type of game is disappearing, I'm telling you, bro. He's too much of a pussy.
yeah. Look, there's a few things that concern me about Cat, especially in New York. Especially in New York. So
It's a
I'm
tough
not
city,
sure.
bro. It's
I'm
a
not
tough
sure,
city.
man. I don't know if he can handle the Garden. It's not Boston, but still, it's no joke.
Yeah, he's been hanging out in Minnesota way too long. Man.
Hiding in Minnesota. So 57. Do you reckon that's accurate? I don't know if they'll get to 57. To be
Nah,
honest.
man. I reckon there might be a 52 win team, maybe 50, 51.
Yeah.
And that's being generous, bro. Because Jalen Brunson, the way he plays, he's in for an injury. Like, I don't pray for any injuries for anyone, but I mean, it's something I said about something you said actually about Ja Morant last episode. The moment he was drafted in the NBA, I said to my brother, I go, brother, I'm worried about how he laterally moves. Not about his landing, but how he laterally moves on the court. He's going to do a knee like Derrick Rose or something like that.
I think
Funny
he
you said
throws
that
his
last
body.
week.
He throws his body way too much. Like
My concern was more of his lateral movements, the way he moves left and right. And I said the same thing. I think he'll be a Derrick Rose. But
I hope
that's
not.
going back to Jalen Brunson. I said about Jalen Brunson, he reminds me of IT. Remember IT?
Hey, how'd you do that?
Did what? Like, he reminds me of IT. And IT, when he did his hip,
I don't know
one
if you
little
can
injury
see
like
that.
that, and his game has disappeared.
I don't know
I
if you
mean,
can
when
see
I
that.
did this-
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
I know, it just popped up when I did this.
this is all new technology to me. But yeah, you're right. Ja Morant is a concern. He's always a concern. Every
But
time
like-
he's on there, he plays at full pace. He plays like, top speed. He does not have any other gear.
But why I brought Ja Morant up is because I was talking about Brunson. And when I look at Brunson, I see Isaiah Thomas, like the type of like full on, and that height. And the amount of contact he creates. And this season, we know they're not going to be rewarding such as much. So he's going to keep trying to play the same way. I see an injury happening, and what do you got then? Cat? Come on. That ain't enough. So 50 wins is being generous.
Well,
but
they've got McCall, they've got a few others. Look, I think I liked the Knicks last year, and I hope they can back up their season. Did it work again?
No.
So the Lakers, there you go.
Nice.
Does it do anything else? Now we're just playing around with the emojis. So the Lakers, 48-34, tied for 6-8. I think that's reasonable. 48 though. Yeah.
I reckon they might. I reckon they might break 50 if they're healthy.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how well Bronny plays.
I reckon Connect Four is a really good steal, bro.
Bronny's going to carry him.
He's a really good player.
Yeah, I just worry about the development there, man. I mean, JJ Redick's young, and yeah, I don't know. They're a win now team. I don't like young players there. Look at what happened to Cam Reddish, man. Cam Reddish is suffering hard, and even Rui. Like, I don't like it.
I guarantee you, though, watch Anthony Davis shoot a hell of a lot more threes now that he's got. Why was I going to call him Whitaker? Oh my God, JJ Redick as his coach.
There was a couple of nice plays, but it just reminds me of Steve Nash coaching, to be honest. But I hope JJ can prove us wrong. It'll be good to see.
Well, he played with AD, so I mean he's got an affinity for him. So hopefully we'll see a lot less of LeBron and a lot more of AD, because AD when he's the man, he's very good.
Yeah,
he's very good. But when you're sort of still playing backup and you don't know if you can be the man.
So this one's concerning. I think it's almost accurate as well. I don't see the Bucks being contenders this year. I mean, you can't write off Giannis. You can never write off Giannis. But I don't like that pairing. I didn't like it when it happened, and I still don't like it.
I saw Jeff Teague. Was it Jeff Teague? Did you see that clip where he was with Dame, and he's like, how do you feel playing with Giannis? Because, there was a stint where I was there, and it's like, just wouldn't give the ball. And you could see that Dame Lillard knew exactly what he was saying, and he sort of played it down a bit. And but you could read between the lines that, it's not a good match, even as Dame.
And I don't like the coaching. I think getting rid of Budenholzer was probably they literally shot themselves in the foot. I think.
What do you mean, bro? They got Darvin Ham.
Yeah, and Doc. I really think Budenholzer was that coach for them. I don't know why they got rid of him, to be honest. So yeah, I think that's pretty legit. I think they'll get more wins than that, but I don't think they'll be. Yeah, it's hard to write off Giannis, but I think they're going to struggle.
I'm with you there.
Wow. Do you reckon that's accurate? 11th seed?
I reckon 26 wins maybe 32.
I'm going to give him a bit more credit. I think they'll definitely make the play-in.
Well, it depends on what the East is doing, because it's the East.
You got 4 teams that are scrubs, man.
Yeah, I say 26 to 32.
Yeah, I don't know about the record, but I think they'll be 10th. I think they'll scrape into the play-in. This one's interesting.
Nah, way better than that.
I think they must think that he's going to get injured too.
Definitely must be thinking that, because Ja Morant, before all that drama.
Yeah, they were up there, man.
Yeah, man.
And when he came back swinging. No, did he? Man, you know what? If this happens, they could potentially get Cooper Flag. Can you imagine?
That's going to be a lot better than that. That's ridiculous.
You know what's funny is I'm hearing a lot of people saying he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry, but how much impact are you actually having on defense if this is your record?
That's not going to be the record.
You have to give him more than that if he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. No way.
Remember his rookie season, right? For the first 15, 20 games, they weren't giving him the ball. Like, they were running that Sohan experiment as a point guard. They weren't getting him the ball early. He was getting in the key, having to sit there for 3 seconds and leave the key before they decided to give him the ball.
Yeah.
With a point guard like Chris Paul on the court, this guy's going to have a MVP season, I reckon, bro. I mean, it's not a finals team, but, bro, I think, honestly, he'll get Defensive Player of the Year, and I reckon Chris Paul's going to make him shine, bro.
Chris Paul for MVP?
Bro, to be honest, he's one player that...
Look, you know how I feel about Chris Paul. We've spoken about this many times. I really didn't like how Steve Kerr used him.
It was stupid going to Golden State. It didn't make sense to me.
I think you know how I felt. At the beginning of the season, I felt like there was basically two contending teams in Golden State. The bench and the starters. And with Chris Paul and the rest of them. And I thought he could have potentially raised the level of quality from all the players. But I just feel like that system or Steve Kerr, whatever it is, it didn't utilize Chris Paul in the best way.
But remember, Chris Paul also has a massive, what do you call it? Is it called a reputation? Yeah, a massive reputation for not being the easiest player to get along with. So, I mean, a lot of young guys on the Golden State roster, which there were, he might have rubbed them all the wrong way, especially like people like Draymond, who only likes being rubbed by LeBron. What did he say the other night?
That one's real Diddy, not no Diddy.
What did he say? I'm going to sleep with a king inside of me.
Yeah,
you see that shit?
Yeah, I saw that.
What was that, bro?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I got to check out Draymond Green's podcast. He must be struggling, making outrageous stuff like that. I don't understand it. Why are you getting that type of attention? That's horrible.
He's joining Dwight Howard.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Start the Pride League.
So I've got the Warriors to win it all still. I don't care.
Yeah, you're insane. You're insane.
You saw the stats that we mentioned in the last podcast?
Yeah.
They've won all their preseason games.
It's preseason. It doesn't matter if it happened in the past.
Stats don't
preseason.
Advanced stats, my friend.
Why do you guys take so much? There's no. I wouldn't put any faith in what you see in preseason as relevant to come into the season, bro.
Yeah. Look, I'm hopeful. If Curry's done it before, he'll do it again. And I really got to do something about these mics, man. This last minute setup is not working. Sorry, guys, but we'll get it all sorted for next podcast. I think with that, we'll close it off for today. Looking forward to tomorrow, start of the season. Guys, those that have joined, we had 28 people. Not bad.
I don't even know how you see that. I didn't see shit.
It shows up on the stats here.
Respect and thank you very much.
Guys, thank you for joining us. We are going to maintain this pace at least once a week. And we'll dedicate another podcast for the global game. But I like that. I got to figure that out.
A bit obsessed,
I don't think
man.
it works for me.
You have to hold it, bro.
I don't think it works for me for some reason.
Doesn't like you, bro.
So, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, share, comment. Doesn't cost anything. It's free. Does help us out. Even if you have a small following, it doesn't matter. Helps with the algorithm. Feed that dirty, grotty, greedy algorithm. And with that being said, is there anything else you wanted to say before we send it out?
Yeah, man, keep hooping. Never stop.
I like it.
Never stop.
I got games tomorrow. Hey.
I say never stop. I skip my game tonight.
Well, until next time, guys, thanks again for watching. Thanks for joining us on yet another live episode 3. Until next time, peace. We out.